There's always a label behind something. You guys have to remember that humans have been communing with spiritual energies for eons, right? For centuries. Everybody has a different name for the energy that they're dealing with. Everybody has a different way that they placate different energies. If you're not into any type of formed spiritual system with rules and regulations, then most times you're looking at things from a broader view. So if you're going into nature, and people are so insistent on calling upon Oshun when they go to the river, they don't understand that the river has a life of its own, right? A river is water, all-encompassing life, refreshing, regenerative, all of these things that the river offers. It doesn't necessarily have to be called, when you go there, to call her Oshun, right? You don't have to call her Chola, Wingay. You don't have to call the ocean, the river, anything except for the river waters, the mothers of the river waters, the great waters. Say things like that if you are not into any specific part of a traditional system. You don't have to name it. Nature knows. Mother Earth knows. The moon, the sun, the stars, Earth, they know, right? So you can speak in a general basis to the universe. Who? Well, if I'm dealing with rebirth and illuminating things in my life that need to be changed and need to be fixed, and I'm going to talk to the moon, right? The moon has many different names. You need to find in your tradition, and when I say your tradition, your bloodline. We go off our bloodlines and our spiritual courts and the teams that walk with us before we reach towards anything or anybody else, so we can get an understanding that this is a nature force. This is spirit. There's no name behind it. When you get into a specific spiritual system, that's when you start getting a name and understanding the correlation between the force of nature that this particular Orisha governs, or this particular deity governs. But in essence, if you did not know anything of the Orisha's name, does the river not still have the abundance of fulfilling of what the river is set here to do, which was to provide life, to provide refreshness, to provide fish. Gold is found in the muddy river waters. All types of riches and things of that nature that produces life and currency and abundance, and all of those things that you think of when you think of Oshun's energy, that comes from the river. Right? So this is the energy of the river in itself. Don't be so convinced that, oh, well, in order for me to receive abundance, then I got to go to find Orisha. No, you don't have to go to find Orisha to receive abundance. The river is an essence of energy within itself anyway. Whatever name you choose to call, whatever name you choose to give, whatever name you choose to honor, the river is the river waters. Regardless, because you go there and say Chola, because you go there and say Oshun, because you go there and call the great river waters or the great river deities, your voice is still heard. Your voice is a spirit, your voice is a command, your voice is a vibration. So when you're out there, you're speaking, if you're stepping into that water, if you're standing over that water, everything that resonates from you goes into the trickles and the waves of that ocean. You can look at a frog that is sitting in the middle of a river and listen to it make its noises and watch the ripples of the water go out around it. That lets you know that it's bringing off an energetic vibration so that the universe hears it. Your voice is no different from the bellow of what that frog does in that water. So what makes you any different? Your voice is stronger, should be, right? Your connection is there regardless. So don't be so tied into, I must call it this, I must venerate it this way, I must go about it this way. No, our native indigenous ancestors, the great moon, the great sun, the great this, the great that, the great mothers, the great waters, they never called it a particular anything. Some tribes and things, as you get into the later on years, because you didn't understand the dialect they was talking back then at all, right? So you know what they're talking to. They're talking to the moon, they're talking to the sun, they're talking to the stars, they're talking to nature as a whole. Be mindful that nature is accessible to one and all. Don't get yourself caught up in the trick bag of reaching for deities that is not in your path and not in your walk, because you feel that you need to reach towards that in order to be heard or order to be accepted in your spiritual walk. That is not true, and that's not how this works.